Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to help you get informed, but without all the usual noise. Today, we're looking into a pretty stark story, really. It's about trust and how it gets twisted into deception, a very human puzzle.
hmm And we're focusing specifically on the Ghazala Din investment schemes. It's honestly a fascinating and, well, quite concerning case study. It really shows how these elaborate cons get built piece by piece, often using trust that's, already there.
Exactly. And it's those tactics, the how, that makes it so important to understand. So our mission for you today is to really unpack how Ghazala Din drew people in, the patterns she repeated, and what you can maybe take away from the mechanics of these kinds of cons. Okay, so where did it all start? How did she get the ball rolling? Well, the initial hook, it seems, was often quite subtle. It usually began by building trust, often through connections that seemed totally normal, like a local hairdresser. But here's the clever bit. Reports say Ghazala Din would initially act almost reluctant, like she didn't really want new investors.
Ah, right. That creates this sense of exclusivity, doesn't it? High demand. It's a classic way to lower people's guards, make them feel lucky to be involved.
Precisely. And once that trust was sort of seeded,
Then came the promises, and they were, well, huge. She was apparently claiming £300 a month for every pound invested, plus bonuses.
wow, 300 pounds for every pound. That's unbelievable.
It is. And she even reportedly offered to add £1,000 of her own money if someone invested £2,000. So it wasn't just a promise, it was like a psychological hook, making it feel incredibly safe, almost like she had skin in the game alongside you.
And the key thing, at least early on, was that she'd actually pay out.
Yes, exactly. Small amounts consistently. That created the illusion of a real working investment. It builds that false security, gets rid of doubts before, the bigger asks came or it all fell apart.
This wasn't just one-on-one. This spread.
Oh, yeah, it spread quickly through those social networks. The hairdresser, the first one maybe, she brought in her brothers. They each put in £10,000.
10,000 each. Okay.
And other relatives apparently handed over maybe £60,000. And then lots of others, friends, family friends, they were all lured in, drawn by her confidence, her charm, and crucially, the fact that people they knew seemed to be getting paid. Social proof.
So you can see a clear pattern emerging here.
Definitely.
First, that careful trust building. The early payments, maybe lump sum sometimes, making investors feel secure. Then, the recruitment phase, using those early, seemingly satisfied investors to bring in more people, like unwitting agents. But then, inevitably, the payments would just stop. And that's when the excuses started. And they were remarkably similar each time. Stories about hospital stays, bereavements, urgent personal crises.
Right. Standard delay tactics.
Exactly. And after the excuses, she'd often just vanish, ignore calls, messages for weeks, maybe months. Then she might reappear suddenly with a whole new explanation, a fresh story, always delaying.
There was that one really dramatic example, wasn't there? With the houses. Ah, yes. She apparently promised to transfer ownership of some houses to one hairdresser as security, sort of collateral for the money owed.
Sounds official. Lawyers involved.
Lawyers involved, paperwork drawn up, seemed like it was actually going to happen. But then, right at the last minute, she pulled out, claimed more personal issues, said she was hospitalized again, avoided signing anything.
And the promise just faded away.
Just evaporated, exactly. Bought her more time, kept the hope alive for a bit longer, but delivered nothing. Classic manipulation.
And this wasn't just happening in one town or with one group.
No, not at all. It seems Ghazala Din had run similar investment schemes, conning many women, particularly in the beauty industry, right across the UK.
And the really worrying part is, it might still be happening.
Well, reports suggest she continues approaching new people, even telling them the scheme is, quote, more reliable now than it was before.
Wow, that's quite brazen. It really highlights the ongoing risk.
It does. And for the victims, the story ends the same way. Trust given, money handed over, excuses, and then just silence. A really painful outcome.
So, okay, reflecting on all this.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you listening? I think this deep dive really shows how our basic instinct to trust can be turned against us. It's a huge reminder to look out for those red flags, especially when something sounds, well, too good to be true.
Yeah, and connecting it to the bigger picture, it just underscores how vital critical thinking is. Even when a recommendation comes from someone you trust, like a friend or family member, you still need to question the claims, especially these promises of guaranteed high returns with no real verifiable substance behind them.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? How does really dissecting the specific tactics used in schemes like this one, how does that empower us? How does it help us protect ourselves and maybe the people we care about, especially when information and misinformation travel so fast these days? Something to consider.